All right. Thank you so much for staying with Daybreak. And you're just in time for that conversation that I was telling you about. It's Social Square. It's Friday. We don't talk about life or death situations. We don't talk about BBI. We don't talk about all those things you don't want to hear. We talk about social issues. Yeah? Gray areas. Your view is your view. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. Depends on your point of view. So, and we'd like to hear from you as well. What is a deal breaker for you in a relationship? It could be a relationship where you're just boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife. Does the dynamics change at that particular point? Some people say infidelity is number one. Others say it's finances. You'll be surprised how much infidelity can be forgiven, or maybe not. That's what we'd like to hear from you. Joining me now is Kendia Shitiva. She's a marriage counselor and a psychologist as well. And Robert Burale is also here with us. The coach is here, and none other than Anita Ray, the radio personality. Thank you so much for coming through, looking ravishing. Sasa, this is where we begin the conversation. Right. Robert, what do you think is a deal breaker in a relationship? Let's start and let's break it down into two different categories. There's husband and wife, and then there's boyfriend, girlfriend.
All right. Well, first and foremost, deal breakers are very different in various relationships. It's between two people who have come together and have agreed that this is my deal breaker. I will not go beyond this. Some will say, if you don't want to have children, that's my deal breaker. If you don't want to, if there's infidelity, that's my deal breaker. And there are various. You'd be surprised how much some minute things can be deal breakers. Or if you don't visit my village, my family once a year, every Christmas, that's a deal breaker. So it's really not cast in stone, but it is what two people come together. If it's in relationships, to be honest with you, they can sit and agree. Someone will say, no, I want 3 children. Somebody else says, I don't want any child. That, of course, can't be a deal breaker. In marriage, there can be various things. If your mother-in-law comes, if your mother comes to stay in my house, our house for 6 months without going back, that is a deal breaker. So really, we would not say this is cast in stone, because it is an agreement between two people based on their value system, based on their desire, and based on what they think they can handle or not handle.
Let me bring you in on this. Should we even be talking about deal breakers? Should there be a deal breaker when two people are relating? Why is there so much conditions? If you do this, then I leave. If you don't do this, then I'll stay. I mean, should we even be talking about deal breakers in a relationship setup? Candy?
Oh, it's me. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Of course, we should. Yeah. I think it's very important to discuss what you can stand and what you cannot stand. It's good to be open with your partner and not just sneak up on them halfway through the relationship. And so as a therapist, someone who's worked with all sorts of people, I will speak from experience and what I've seen in the therapy room. And I'll tell you, some of the deal breakers for women are a lazy man. Believe it or not. I hear men saying, oh, women just want money, women just want money. Of course, there are few who are materialistic, but for good women, a good woman wants a hardworking man. There's nothing that puts off a good woman than a lazy man. If you're gonna sit there and hang on to day or scratch that or my remote the whole day, we're gonna have a problem. So women are attracted to a hardworking man. Women are attracted to a man that can take charge. There's something about us that just craves to be led. So for many women that I've worked with, they just tell me, Kendi, I don't care how nice he is. I don't care how amazing he is in the sack. He's just lazy. You know, I leave him in bed and I find him in bed. And that for many women is an extreme, extreme deal breaker. And they cannot stand it. Whether in marriage, I've seen women leave a lazy husband. I've seen women leave a lazy boyfriend. So one of the things I'd like to tell men out there is a good woman values a hardworking man.
Kendi, so when you talk about taking charge and taking lead, what does that look like?
Fantastic question. A woman wants a leader, not a boss. There's a difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even in the work setting, there's a difference between when you're working for a leader and when you're working for a boss. A boss bosses you around. Do this, don't do that, wear this, don't wear that, in a relationship. But a leader says, what can I do for you? How are you today? Can I send my cab guy to pick you? Are you okay? If you're running late, are you okay with your girls? You know, you need anything from me? That is a leader. You know, a man that takes control. A leader will ask, I saw your son, even if it's not his biological son in a relationship, he'll say, I saw your son the other day and he had a bruised knee. Is he okay? That is a leader. A leader notices the small things in your life. A leader wants to make you comfortable, okay? So a woman, a good woman especially, not these jokers on the street, but a good woman wants a leader, not a boss. So two things I've said already. Yeah. We don't want a lazy man.
All right, Kendi, we seem to be having a bit of a challenge with your internet connection there. But now let's bring in Anita Ray. Anita Ray, do you want to be led, first of all? And what is a deal breaker for you?
Why are you asking if I want to be led? I don't know. I mean, our leaders are doing a bad job, so I'm not sure I want to be led anymore. But I love how she said it. A lazy man is a deal breaker for anybody. You need someone who's hardworking, someone who can provide. And the other day on air, men told me they want to control women. That's where we go wrong with everything. A woman wants to be led, but not be controlled. You're not a child. You don't need someone putting a leash on you. You just need someone leading you. Do this, do that. But I think in marriage, a deal breaker should be violence. Because our society has taught us, a man cheating is not a deal breaker. It's actually, apparently they are growing their territory. That's what society is teaching us. That's what we've been told. Apparently, according to our culture, men with more money and more goats could marry more wives. It's wealth, right? So cheating is not a deal breaker in marriage, apparently. I'm going to use that word. But violence, when someone hits you, that's a deal breaker in a relationship or in a marriage. And I also think for this relationship that's squeezy, I think a deal breaker for them is money and the gram. If there's no something to show off, then what are we doing together? I can't show you off, we can't travel, you guy, my guy. For our young generation, deal breakers ni mingi. Hauna pesa, hauna swag, you don't, you're not in my circle, you're not in my lane. But I think for marriage nowadays, the marriage in our societies, they are going through everything. So I don't even think we have deal breakers anymore. It's just more of a business. Marriage, hakuna deal breaker.
Let me bring you back to that issue of infidelity, Anita Ray. You don't think it's a deal breaker?
To my honest take on it, a man cheating is not a reason to leave. A man cheating is like, leaving a man for cheating is like leaving a country because it rains. Everywhere it rains. Just either buy a raincoat, buy an umbrella, vaa gumboot, ama ukae kwa nyumba usiwe nyeshewa. You have to pick a struggle. There's no faithful man. Hakuna so, so you just pick a struggle, pick your unfaithful man and just assume he's faithful to you in spirit. I think there's a difference between cheating and disrespect. A lot of men cheat, they never show their wives. Disrespect is the men who are cheating and showing their wives. So there's a big difference.
So the man should, it's okay to cheat, but not to be disrespectful.
Yeah, please don't be.
Burali, are you listening to this? Because almost all the men in this studio are now uncomfortable. Is that right? Is it okay that a man cheating is like leaving a country because it's raining?
I think I need to go and take some tea right now. That just shoots it. No. I am not justifying cheating. Yes, it's happening. I'm not justifying it whether the woman knows or the man knows. But also, let's not just hit on the man, because we also have a high number of women who actually cheat, just the way we also have a high number of women who are extremely lazy. Cheating is not about to even found out. It's about a value system. But having said that, there are couples that have risen above such issues and even gotten stronger. You understand? And I've seen such situations. I've had the privilege of dealing with couples who have gone through infidelity and have risen above that and have gotten to higher levels of closeness and all that based on how they have handled the situation. You understand what I'm saying? But it gets ugly when other people maybe think, oh, why didn't you leave him? Why didn't you leave her? Let me tell you something. When two people who share a bed decide to move on even after such difficult situations, because my deal breaker could be minute compared to yours. So don't judge why I've handled my situation different from yours, yet we are a different couple. So yes, I don't say that if a man cheats on you and you don't find out, then it's okay. Both are disrespectful, either for the man or the woman.
Yeah. Kendi, does the setup really matter? Because there are those who say that I can't leave because of infidelity because there's a family involved. I'm going to stay for my children and it's no longer about me. Is that an escapist approach or is there something in there? What makes someone stay even though you had said that for me this is a deal breaker, it has happened, but you decided that, okay, fine. Now that it has happened, it's no longer a deal breaker.
Yeah, you're right. The setting matters. But let me just say this, because I'm a therapist. Cheating is very painful. Anyone that has endured infidelity will tell you it is extremely painful. I know we laugh about it, we joke about it, there are memes about it, but let me tell you, I have seen people wail in counseling rooms, literally wail, at the level of betrayal they feel, at the level of injustice they feel, at the exposure they feel. You married me and told me I was the best thing that happened after sliced bread. You married me and told me I was the only one. Now I just find out that there are 2 of us, 3 of us, there are children out there. It is extremely painful. But let me say this, even for those that stay for the children, I can tell you without batting an eyelid, the relationship is never the same, okay? Those women, the ones I've worked with, literally leave the marriage emotionally. They're there physically, they're there raising the kids, but they leave the marriage physically. And there is one thing I learned from a man I worked with. He told me she doesn't look at me the same way anymore, you know? And men don't realize that when you cheat on her and she finds out, a part of her will die. I guarantee you. When you cheat on your woman and they find out, a part of them has to die. So even if the relationship remains under the same roof, you have to build a new relationship.
Yeah.
Okay? And it will be built on a scar.
Yeah.
Let us say the truth. It will be built on a scar. Nothing will ever be the same again. And men love to be admired. You know, I learned this in counseling. Men love to be admired. You know that the girl that walked down the aisle when she was marrying you, the one that looked at you like you are her world, that feeling is what men come home to. You know, that admiration, that, oh my God, she makes anything I want her to make. She thinks I'm awesome. That's the feeling you lose when you cheat on your woman.
Okay.
And she may stay there and live with you, but you'll always tell me, Kendi, something changed. She's not the same girl. I'll never get her back again. So as much as we're talking about it in a light way, let me tell you, the emotions involved are extremely painful and extremely deep.
But Kendi,
so I would still be careful.
Yeah, as the therapist, you know, I've also seen situations where something happens, even if it's not infidelity or something, you run out of love, you leave each other, and then come back to each other again. Do such relationships ever really work? When you take a break from each other for like a year, come back again, is there a point? Or when you leave, you just leave?
I've seen people separate, get back together, separate, get back together. I think different things work for different people, so it's not wise for me to stand here and generalize. Every relationship is so unique. Some people actually benefit from a separation, okay? Some people, sometimes people need the space to think, do I really need this person? Can I live with them or without them? Sometimes after you've been married for a long time, you take your partner for granted, you know? And then once you separate, you're like, kumbe, this guy was good with the kids. Okay, kumbe, this guy was weak here, but he used to make sure he stays up until I come home late. Kumbe, this guy would pick me from the airport. So I've seen some relationships benefit from a separation, especially those that separate and come for counseling, okay? So they tend to go like, okay, I'm thinking about this. I realized I missed this girl. I realized I missed this guy. I realized it wasn't too bad. So some of them do benefit. Some separate and never come back together. So it's different things for different people.
Okay. Anita Ray, let me bring you back on this. Is there a possibility that sometimes people tolerate things like infidelity because of the comfort zone where they are at? They don't want to lose the financial cushioning that comes with it. Because it's very easy to leave a broke man for infidelity. But if the person has a couple of millions, well, you might think about that because you know then that all the perks go with him.
I don't want to discuss broke men. They don't like me right now. I don't. So
we know your views on broke men, but still continue.
No, listen. I just think, and I'm going to quote Burale by saying that some people work over the differences and get stronger. What do you mean you get stronger? You sit down and tell your person, hi, I understand where you cheated, but I love you more. No, you don't actually. What the therapist said is true. Once you cheat on a woman, she gets used to it. She gets numb. You stop feeling anything. It becomes a norm. So you do you. Now, what the woman does, she starts focusing on herself, on her kids. And if you see a woman staying with a man who's cheating, definitely she's getting something from it. So women live emotionally and start building themselves physically. Get a place, get land, get an investment. But sometimes you look at the options you have. If you're raising my kids well, you're paying school fees, I can always leave you but stay with you. And you see, women have perfected this art. I've left you, but I'm with you. So I act wife, I'm going to show up to events with you, but we don't have a relationship other than our kids, other than the fact that I'm benefiting from maybe your money. And let's not pretend. I always tell people, if a man has money, you ask yourself, natoka hapa niende wapi? I mean, let me just enjoy the money. We don't have to love each other. Squeezy, People say love is overrated. You know, let me just stay there. Alewa toi, waende shule mzuri, I get a good life. We're good. I'm numb to things, and women have become really numb. And as Burala said, that's why a lot of women are cheating. And the men might even know, but they don't care because you've become housemates. Atupendani but atui kuachana. And then society, why am I living? I'm so used to being Miss Trevor, so why do I want to be Anita again? Apana, I'm good. I am Mrs. Trevor, I'm good. That society image, I drive a range, I live in a fancy place, people think we are okay. That's a good image. Just, ataka tukipigana kwa hao, it's a good image out there. So nowadays we have so many broken homes, but a good image out there.
All right.
Yes.
Robert, what do you think about this issue? Because, you know, one of the things that we brought up earlier on was the issue of leadership. And most of the time, that is confused with financial stability. How do you lead someone when yourself, you're broke? Anita Ray here is making way more than me, and then I insist that our children have to go to this school. She's saying Braeburn, I'm saying Kibera. So what happens now? Who's the leader in this setup?
Two things. Leadership is not about financial abundance, but a man or a woman who knows where they're going, where they want to take their family, what they're seeing in the short term, mid term, and long term. There are people who are financially strong, but are very poor in leadership. And that's why we have seen some of the most stressful marriages are in the picket fences. They're in the upmarket areas. It's not about finances. Some of the best leaders in as far as vision and where they're taking their family is concerned could even be living in the slum area. You understand what I'm saying? It's just about what brought two people together. That's why Anita said in some places in the new age kind of relationships, Instagram plays a big part in their marriage. If I've nothing to show off for, then I don't want to get married to you because I need to make sure people follow me and see affluence and opulence on Instagram. Well, if you came together because of such things, what happens the day the internet goes down for about 1 month? Do you put your marriage on pause? You understand? But also allow me to say this. I know we have taken the direction of if the man cheats, what does a woman do? Are we forgetting that women are also, women cheat a lot? But the thing about a woman can cheat under your nose and you'll think she's a nun or a pastor. It's just that because men are the ones who are caught out of carelessness, and I don't condone cheating, I don't justify it, but let's not forget women also cheat. You understand what I'm saying? And yes, Anita says it's about broke. No, Trevor, said it's easy to leave a broke man. So if you got together for finances, you got to understand there are other women out there who will look at your man because of finances. So don't complain when the field has too many players because of finances. So let's get on the value system. And I've seen women getting married to men who are broke, and because of the grace and the favor that a woman brings to the man gets to a place of abundance. The only problem I have is that a woman stands with you when you're in your bicycle stage and you start carrying Slay Queen when you're in the Range Rover stage.
Kendi, and you know, let's just put it bare as it is. The truth of the matter is the finances do matter to some extent. Yeah, and you need to have seen someone through their seasons when they're rich, when they're broke. But sometimes you happen to be with them when they're rich. So the broke side of them, you don't understand it too well, and it has an impact.
Okay, so what's the question?
Yeah, the question is, isn't it obvious that then the finances do matter?
Finances matter because we live in an economic world. Okay? Bills have to be paid. We live in an economic world. But relationships are not just built on finances. That's not the only reason. I've seen people leave stinking rich men because they mistreat them. I've seen people stick with poor guys, or rather guys that don't have too much money, because they treat them well. Let me say this, relationships are about how we make each other feel. If I make you feel a certain type of way, it doesn't matter how much money I have, it will still not be a healthy relationship. Okay? Relationships are not about the cars in the parking. They're not about where our kids go to school. They're about, do I like you? Do I enjoy spending time with you? Can I talk to you for hours and hours on end? You know, do I enjoy your company? That is the basics of a relationship. Money is good, yeah? But it's honestly, the reality is this, it's not everything. It is good because we live in an economic world, and even the laptop I'm using was bought with money, isn't it? The clothes I'm wearing were bought with money. But it's honestly not everything. And we need to just say the truth. It's not everything. It's important, but it's not everything. Let me say this about a leader. A leader is one that is able to see the gap and do something about it. Okay? A leader is one that sees the gap and does something about it. When we say a woman wants a leader, wants a man who's able to see the issue in the house, the issue in the marriage, that is a leader. He doesn't have to be perfect. But are you able to recognize that this family has a problem and do something about it? Are you able to see that the kids don't have uniform and do something about it? That's what a woman is looking for. That is what we call a leader. Okay? Sometimes he'll see it and not have the money for it and tell you, do we have money for? Do we have money for? Can we? But that is a leader. Many times it's the woman who earns the money. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the woman being the one who earns the money. But just because she earns the money doesn't mean she can live with her money. How many women do you see in religious settings raising their hands, worshiping, praising, and asking God for a husband? And they came in their BMWs. Women want men. Women want relationships. We are relational beings. Don't see us here with our fancy cars. We want a husband.
Okay? Is it true? Anita?
Oh, it's true. We want a man. Anita, tuseme ukweli.
I have never said no to that. We all need men, you know. We all want that. The men in studio. We all want men. And definitely we want to be taken care of. But you see, I always say, don't judge someone who doesn't want to be with a man, because I've come to learn over the years, women in my generation want men for very different reasons, for very weird reasons. As Murala said, it's for sure. People don't know what relationships are. People don't want to invest in relationships. You just want to find a ready-made man and just get along with him. Akuwe financially stable, akuwe na life yake, akuwe mentally stable. You see, that's a problem. We want men, but we don't want to stay with men. And that's a problem with women. You want a man, but you're not ready to stay with a man. Akikuja akwambia, you have to be submissive. Why am I submitting to what? Anita, you have to listen to me. Why? Because we're not ready for that yet. So it's about, no, it's not about wanting a man. It's, are you going to be able to stay with that man? That's a question to my generation, because we want men, but can we stay with them? Akikuja kwambia Anita, hii mwezi sina pesa ya rent, be like, mimi sijalipwa. Sasa ndio nakumbukanga mlikatwa 50%. You know, it doesn't work. And to go back to something Burale said, alisema women don't get caught cheating. Let me tell you something, Trevor. For the longest time, men were cheating, feeling like they are kings. Then I think women woke up one day and realized, you know what, we can do this even way better than you. So women never get caught. Not that they don't cheat, they never get caught. But the one thing I always tell all the men in my life, if a woman cheats, leave her. Because she's going to cheat again and again and again. Because she doesn't cheat physically. Men cheat physically, and I'm not condoning it, I'm just saying they do. Women cheat emotionally, physically, and mentally. Before she cheats on you physically, she's invested so much emotion in that guy, so much time, compared him to you, so she's gone, by the way. So, Kim Samehea, you're just wasting your time. She's going to cheat again and again and again and again.
Robert, is that what you think as well? That it's easier to forgive a man and not a woman who cheats?
Well, men, a woman, I agree with Anita, a woman is very emotional. By the time a woman is sleeping with a man can meet a woman at 8 a.m. and sleep with the woman at 8:04. A woman, we may have invested even months into it, but I'm here to say this. We should not condone it because it's happening. We should not now say it is something that is with us. And I am a believer, and I say this with all honesty, because let's not also ignore the part for the grace of God. That I am a believer that people can conquer the level of cheating and actually get better. It's not easy, and I agree with my great sister, Kendi, that it's never the same. But if two people are intentional in trying to surmount those issues that have broken many people, I do believe you can limp through and still survive.
Yeah. Kendi, is there a difference as a therapist when a man cheats and when a woman cheats?
Yes. From my experience, women cheating is many times reactionary. It's many times reactionary. I've worked with so many women in bad relationships, and they tell me of bad marriages or unhappy marriages. And they tell me, imagine, Kendi, I'll be fine. I'll just stay here. I'll take care of the kids. I'll be fine. And I've learned that, imagine you're pretending you have needs. You have needs. And so it's many of those good, many times even godly women that will come later and tell me, oh my God, I found myself in an ashipai with some other married man. You know, not because you went into your marriage intending to cheat. It is because you decided to stay in an unhealthy, unhappy relationship, and you are in denial of your own needs. We have needs. We are human beings, okay? So if you're going to stay in a relationship where your needs are not being met, you have to be very careful because you just need one man to scratch that need. And even the best of us, you find yourself somewhere climbing walls with a man you don't know. Okay? So many times for the women I have worked with, I'm just talking from my experience as a practitioner, women cheating is reactionary. Women are not, well, it's not easy for us to just cheat. We love family. Do you know how much work we have to do to get a woman out of a violent marriage? You almost want to drag her out. You drag her out, she goes back. You drag her out, she goes back. That's how much we love family. And if I was to, use a biblical example, you know the lady, Lot's wife? Lot's wife literally had to look back at her house and turn into a pillar of salt. Meanwhile, Lot and the others have taken off. But it's not easy for us to leave our home. That is the point. We are nurturers in nature. We love family. But by the time a woman leaves her home, mmefikisha mwisho. By the time she's with another man, mmefikisha mwisho. It's not natural for us. It's very reactionary. And I have learned, even the woman in church, even the woman in the choir, even the woman in the Women's Guild Cup, we all have needs, and any of us can cheat. Even me here, I am not a saint. Any of us, all right? We're not encouraging it, but we're saying you're gonna stay in a relationship and your needs are not being met. Please be real. Please put a guard on those needs. Please be aware that you are a human being, and stay away from people that can send you to another bad place.
But Kendi, I have to take a quick break, but as a therapist, would you advocate for partners talking about it? Because I know you're married, you're in your house right now, your husband is probably watching, and you've said that even me, I can cheat. Is it something that you can talk about openly with your partner and tell them that, you know what, Anita, today I met someone, there's a way I'm thinking about her a little bit too much. Or are certain things better kept to yourself? Usiseme?
Let me tell you, unless I want to be the next Gari to Maua Meru, I will never open my mouth and say some things.
Even though you think about it.
Of course. You see, your partner is naturally jealous. And romantic relationships should have some jealousy. It's something I can tell my girls, but you should never tell your partner. I don't think it's very wise. Because you will have sown a seed of jealousy, sown a seed of fear and anxiety for nothing. Just because we are married doesn't mean other people stop being attractive. They remain attractive. But cheating is always a choice that you make. It is a choice, all right? So I am aware that other chicks find him hot. He's aware that I am still an attractive woman, okay? And it is my work to ensure that I make him feel safe as much as possible. In the event someone is interested in me, I will never ever come and tell him, hey, Mr. Shitiba, let me tell you, hey, there's this guy who had me am I mad? No, that is something I share with my close friends who will keep me in check.
Okay.
Because I am a godly woman and I want my values to be upheld. So I have a group of friends that we can share about those things, but it is not wise to go and tell your partner some things. You will hurt them, you will expose them, you will sow seeds of jealousy and insecurity for absolutely nothing. People come and go. People will like you and they'll go, but please don't hurt your partner.
Okay. I have to take a quick break here. Kendi Ashitiva is still with me, marriage counselor and psychologist. Robert Burale, coach, is still with me as well, and an Interray radio personality. When we come back, now we talk about some of the things that we don't necessarily have control over, one of them being infertility. Sometimes people tend to be so stretched by that they end up breaking up. And then there's religion. And then there's your in-laws. We'd like to hear from you as well. What are the deal breakers from where you stand, and how best can it be dealt with at Trevor Mbija, Citizen TV Kenya? #Daybreak. We're back in just a bit.